Are some ciders made from things other than apples?
Cider has to be a fermented product. It can't be that you add some apple juice, let's say, to a neutral spirit. That cannot be called a cider. So we are talking about apple juice being the fermentation. But what you can do, and there are plenty of people who do it, is you can add extra sugar into your apple juice, a process called chaptalization, which is undertaken in some parts of the wine world, especially where you've had a cold and wet summer, so that the grapes haven't built up enough sugar to reach the alcohol content, which is classic of the style of that region. Some places permit you to add a little bit more sugar to bump up to that alcohol level. Well, that's not why chaptalization is largely being done for cider makers. It's being done sort of wholesale so that you can just ferment to that high alcohol base so that 10, 12, 15 potentially percent alcohol. So you could then dilute back to whatever your target alcohol is. It's a very economical way of making cider. And so in those circumstances, the other fermentable sugar that you have added would be a greater source of alcohol than the original apple juice. And that's, for me, when you start to get into a bit of a tricky territory. There are some people who are very wonderfully passionate and puritanical about what cider is, and I love that and respect that. I've got a little bit more of a slightly broader tent view because I've worked for cider makers, small and really big, and associations, and seen cider being made across the world. And so I don't necessarily think that in order for something to be the best cider, that it has to be 100% apple juice. But when something starts to become more water than apple juice, or whereby that the fermentable sugar is more from glucose syrup than apples, that's when it starts to get into a slightly more challenging territory for me.
If I was looking at the sort of ciders that are served commonly on draft in pubs,
Yeah.
what sort of percentage of apple juice do you think that those products are made from, if you had to estimate? If you
35
don't know.
to 35 to 60%.